Hello and welcome to Tales of Repetition Compulsion 14. Since repetition compulsion can be a difficult concept to understand, I feel the best way to explain it is to give examples, or tales, from our everyday lives, showing how it invades every aspect of our lives. Now, since this is a new channel, some of you will have heard this introduction before, where I explain what repetition compulsion is. So I apologise for the repetition, but for somebody who's a first-time viewer, I feel I should explain what the concept is. So each tale of repetition compulsion is centred around a specific life category, a specific bad message, and a character. So in today's Tales of Repetition Compulsion 14, the life category is finances, the bad message is you are responsible for me, and the character is Jamie. In terms of money, do you go through life always feeling that you have to look after everyone else, that you always feel you should pay? I felt like this for many years, but I did find a way to stop this bad message from controlling me. And I'm going to let my three dogs, who I call the three wise tales, they're going to show you how I did this at the end of this section. So with money, where does this bad message, you are responsible for me, come from? How do children learn this? Well, children learn what they live, and they are subconsciously programmed to repeat in their adult lives what they learned as a child. What a child learns becomes their normal. It is what they are familiar with, and as adults, we are subconsciously programmed or compelled to gravitate to what feels normal for us in our adult lives, even if it hurts us. So if a child grows up in a toxic or abusive environment, they will sadly naturally gravitate towards toxic and abusive situations in their adult lives. This is not the child's or the adult's fault. They are not to blame because they don't even know they are doing this. It's all done subconsciously. So again, if a child's experience was living in a toxic and abusive environment, they are destined to recreate this environment in their adult lives. And this is the psychological concept called repetition compulsion, where we are compelled or programmed to repeat in our adult lives what we learned as children. So in this Tales of Repetition Compulsion 14, let's look at Jamie when he was a child. Let's see how he learns this bad message. When it comes to money, you are responsible for taking care of me. Okay, Jamie is 9 years old. He comes home from school one day with a note from his teacher and he hands it to his mother. It's a bill from the school for €12 for an upcoming school trip, and Jamie is really looking forward to going on this trip. When his mother reads the note, she says, "Oh, Jamie, not more expense. I don't know if we can afford this. Leave it with me and I'll think about it." Anyway, Jamie heads off to play, but he can't shake the feeling that he has now caused his mother stress, as she is worried she won't be able to find the money for his school trip. Poor little Jamie, he thinks about this for the rest of the evening, and before he goes to bed, he decides to say something to his mother, so as to make things easier for her. When he has his pyjamas on, has his teeth cleaned, and he's ready to jump into bed, he calls out for his mother to come and see him. He says, "Ma'am, will you come in and see me? I want to tell you something." After a few minutes, his mother comes into the bedroom and says, "What's up with you, Jamie? You should be asleep by now." Jamie looks at his mother and says, But Mammy, I can't sleep. I'm so worried that I've upset you. I have decided I won't go on the school tour this year. I can go another year. It doesn't matter if I miss it this year." Now, Jamie, of course, he's half hoping his mother would say, "Not at all, darling," to this proposal of his. But this is what she says. "Ah, Jamie, that's so kind of you. My God, you are such a thoughtful little boy. I'll write a note to your teacher telling her that you have to miss the school trip this year. And don't worry, Jamie, you'll go next year. Oh God, I'm so relieved now, darling. I don't have to worry about finding the money for this. Now go to sleep. It's late. Night, night, Jamie." And off she goes. So, on the one hand, Jamie is so relieved he has managed to reduce his mother's stress around money, but he's also very disappointed that he won't be going on the school tour. But even though he is only 9 years old, he would rather sacrifice something he really wants if it means his mother won't have to worry about him costing her money. Now, this is an important bit. Jamie thinks he is the problem when it comes to money in his house. He thinks it's all his fault that his mother worries about money. Because that's how a child thinks. A child blames itself for any problems in the home. So is it any surprise that in his childhood, when it comes to money, Jamie learns the bad message, "You are responsible for me." Jamie is not even aware that he has now learned this bad message, as it is all done subconsciously. This way of living, always feeling he has to mind everyone else when it comes to money, this is what becomes normal for Jamie as a child. This is what is familiar for him. And, as I said, since we are programmed to gravitate to what is familiar to us, it is now highly likely that Jamie will gravitate to feeling exactly like this as an adult. So let's fast forward to Jamie as an adult. He's now in his 30s. He has a good job and a decent wage, but he never feels financially secure. He constantly worries about money, even though he has enough to pay his bills and to enjoy a good lifestyle. One day, Jamie meets a friend for lunch. Now, this friend has recently broken up with their partner and he has had to find a new place to live. And this is what Jamie has to listen to over lunch from his friend. "Oh, Jamie, I am really struggling at the moment. This breakup has cost me a fortune. I don't know how I will pay my bills at the end of the month. I'm short a few hundred and I just don't know what I'm going to do." Jamie to the rescue. He jumps right in and he says to his friend, "How much do you need? Don't worry about this. I can cover it. How much do you need?" And with that, Jamie writes a cheque for €300 and hands it to his friend. What Jamie doesn't tell his friend is he will now have to cancel getting new tyres for his car. So Jamie is willing to compromise himself financially rather than to see his friend worry about money. Jamie feels he is responsible for sorting out his friend's money issues. So nothing has changed for Jamie, has it? As a child, he learned the bad message that he must protect his carers from financial stress, and now, as an adult, he feels he must protect others from financial stress. And this is repetition compulsion in action, where the past is replayed in the present. Not because Jamie chooses it, but because the subconscious bad message, "You are responsible for me," is still controlling his behaviour. This is what he learned as a child. It became his normal, and until this is brought into Jamie's awareness, he will keep repeating what feels familiar to him, even when it hurts him. And now I'm going to hand you over to the three wise tales. These three beauties were a constant support to me when I was trying to extricate myself from toxic and abusive situations, and they are still a constant support to me. They're going to show you the three ways to break free from being under the control of the bad messages and repetition compulsion. Okay, lads, I'll hand it over to you now.
Hello, my name is Petal, and I am the first of the three wise tales. Today we're going to show you the three ways to break free from the control of two toxic hidden forces, and they are the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Now, these two forces go hand in hand. They feed into each other. When these two forces run our lives subconsciously, we are not in control because our subconscious minds are in control. Therefore, we are not the top dog. We are just a cog trapped inside the toxic machinery of these two rotten forces. So, that's why the first way to heal is awareness. You see, how can you stop doing something which is subconscious, as in you don't know you are doing it, unless someone makes you aware of what you are doing? And this is why we are here, to make you aware that you may be under the control of these two forces. So, awareness is the first step, and no healing can happen without awareness. Awareness means you are finally able to start looking at your adult patterns, realizing now you have been forced or compelled to repeat your toxic and abusive childhood. And you also now know that it is not your fault that you do this, so you are not to blame yourself. The moment you become aware that you are being controlled by these two toxic forces, they no longer control you. You control them, as you have moved them from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. And remember, we can control what is in our conscious mind. Awareness moves you out of being a helpless cog and starts to put you in the position of top dog. And now I'll hand you over to Blossie. He's going to explain to you the second way to break free from the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Hello, Blossie. How are you? Glad to see you.
Hello, my name is Blossie, and I am the second of the 3 wise tales. I am very old, so yes, I have a long white beard. But being very old doesn't just mean I have a hairy face. It also means that I am very wise. Most people who grow up in a toxic or abusive homes were never taught to trust their feelings or instincts. In fact, they were taught to ignore them. In a toxic or abusive home, if a child had an opinion, they were told things like, "Don't be going on with that nonsense. You're just imagining it. Keep your ideas to yourself and don't be making trouble." Over time, the child learned to disconnect from their feelings and their instincts. And in doing that, they disconnected from their natural warning system. Your feelings and instincts are your built-in protection system. They are always right and they always want to protect you. If you shut them out, you have no protections against toxic and abusive people coming into your life. And so you will repeat in your adult life the toxic and abusive situations you experienced as a child. When you begin to listen to and trust your feelings and instincts, everything changes. You start choosing safety. You start choosing yourself. You start saying no to toxic and abusive situations. Because top dogs protect themselves. Top dogs listen to their feelings and their instincts, and in doing this, they break the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. And now, I'm going to hand you over to Dotty. She is going to tell you the third way to break free from the control of the 6 bad messages and repetition compulsion. Hello, Dotty. Delighted you're here. Now get to work.
Hello, my name is Dotty, and I am the third of the 3 wise tales. I am the queen of the pack. I'm the entertainer. I keep everyone happy. So I am definitely the top dog in this house. Now listen closely, because this final step is powerful. The 6 bad messages didn't come from nowhere. They came from having to survive a tough childhood. And here's the truth. The 6 bad messages are not facts. They are lies you learned. So, the third way to heal is to nip and flip the bad messages. You catch a bad message, you nip it in the bud, you don't give it airtime, you don't entertain it. Then you flip it to the truth about yourself. You flip the bad message about yourself to a good message about yourself. So, You are not enough becomes I am enough exactly as I am. You are responsible for others, adults, becomes I am only responsible for myself. You are alone becomes no, I'm not alone. I matter and I belong and lots of people love me. Now, you might say, Dotty, that's so obvious. But it isn't obvious, as we are feeding ourselves these bad messages from our subconscious minds. Therefore, we don't even know we are doing this. But when we nip and flip, we bring the bad message into our awareness, into our conscious mind. And by doing this, we are in control. And we can now retrain our minds to believe the truth, to believe the good messages. So, every time you nip and flip, you take your power back because top dogs choose their thoughts. Top dogs choose to feed themselves good messages about themselves. Top dogs choose to ignore the lying, nasty, bad messages. Top dogs are no longer cogs. So today, me, Petal, Blossie and Annette, we want to tell you this. You are not alone. You really do matter. And we are all here together learning to have better lives. We really care about you. And one last thing. The Three Wise Tales, we have a very important, good message to tell you. We want to tell you that we really, woof you.